Speaker tonight is Chip Ballin. A comparison was the original title of Chip's speech. However, fitting 2 to 3 passionate people into a 7-minute box proved to be unwieldy and counterproductive, not to mention smooth. Therefore, Chip chose only one person to speak about who represents passion. His creamy brown skin, engaging smile, and charming voice attracted an audience both black and white. His ability to connect with his audience at a deep level made him extremely popular. Please enjoy The Passionate Life of Harry Belafonte, Measure by Chip Ballin.
Work all night on a drink of rum. Daylight come and he wanted to go home. These are lyrics from Harry Belafonte's song Deo, or also known as the Banana Boat song. It was Belafonte's signature song. He used that song and continues to use that song throughout the years to raise money for his the projects that he likes to fund. He's probably affected all of you, bringing in calypso music, which then had effects on other music. Maybe not for you, you didn't do music very much. But he also was in film, did a lot of work in film, and he supported financially the civil rights movement in this country in the 50s and 60s. He raised lots of money. He brought the calypso music as a genre into the music icon that we have around. He got money together for humanitarian efforts, especially humanitarian efforts in other worlds other than the United States. His drive was his goal to make life better for all people. He cared about making life better for all people, so he was concerned about those who were disenfranchised, those who were oppressed. He put his money where his mouth was, and he paid for support. I'm going to talk about 3 little areas of what he's doing. The first area is where he came from. The second area is his activism, and the third will be wrapping up and pointing out some of the things that happened to him. He was born in Harlem, in New York City, in 1928. He came out of poverty. His parents had a dysfunctional relationship, and he was sent to his grandmother's after they divorced. And that was in Jamaica. He spent 5 years in Jamaica. He came back when he was 12 years old, and he bounced around. He went from people to people. A lot of people took care of him. He said at one point in time, his childhood was the hardest part of his life. He joined the Navy after quitting high school during World War II in 1944. And when he got back, he did some more odd jobs and what have you. Then he was given tickets to the American Negro Theater. And he went there and he discovered what his passion was. He wanted to be an actor. And so he went to acting school. People that were in his class you might know: Marlon Brando, Walter Matthau, Rod Steiger, among other well-known people, were in the same class as he was. He had a class project in which he was singing, and somebody in the audience heard him, somebody that knew him. They offered him the opportunity to sing in jazz nightclubs, and he was put into a place called the Royal Roost, a jazz nightclub. And the backups that he had for his singing were Charlie Parker and Miles Davis and other people of that level. And so it showed he moved from class very quickly into his singing, and which really happened pretty quickly. In 1953, he won a Tony Award for a play called Almanac, and in that he sang several songs that he had written, and that was the thing that kicked him forward. He came out of that and brought in calypso music. His album, Calypso, was the first album to sell over 1 million copies. This is in the 50s, this is mid-50s. The first track was there, or the Banana Boat song, and also in that form was Jamaica Farewell. Now these two songs, he says later in an interview, had special meaning to him because they were about his family. The Banana Boat song talks about working all night on a drink of rum and working in dangerous and low-paying jobs. And the Jamaica Farewell talks about leaving his family, his mother leaving the family, leaving the homeland, going to New York City. He feels very close to that, even many years later, because the interview was in 1988 that I listened to. He won 3 Emmys in the 60s, one of which was with Miriam Makeba, who was an exiled South African singer, and he worked with her. He was outspoken on civil rights. Paul Robeson was one of his heroes. He met Sidney Poitier, and they were friends throughout life. He met Martin Luther King early in the 50s, and they became lifelong friends. In fact, when the Birmingham campaign, Martin Luther King went to him and said, "I need money for bail money to get these people out of jail." He raised $50,000 in mid-1950s. Now you figure that kind of money, what that's like today. How many $1 million would that be today? 1, 2, something like that. He raised that kind of money for bail money. He was with MLK with his dream speech, and he was the executor of Martin Luther King's estate after he passed. He supported the disenfranchised. He supported the oppressed. He wanted to have money to give to Africa, so he created a song called "We Are the World." Some of you may have heard that many years ago. He brought Springsteen, Ray Charles, Diana Ross, on, singers together to make that. He overcame poverty, and he survived blacklisting. He's charismatic and engaging and fun. He had a Lifetime of Inspiring Work Award, and in Jamaica Farewell, he bids you adieu. I'm sad to say, I'm on my way. I won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston Town.